Okay, in our last video we assembled the Raspberry Pi camera module and put it inside of its clear plastic case, which acts as a stand. And we connected that to the Raspberry Pi and powered it on so that it would boot up. Okay, remember when your camera is not in use, you want to always have your lens on a soft microfiber cloth or some folded tissues, just something to protect that lens from getting scratched or dirty. Okay, so now that the Raspberry Pi has booted up, we're going to need to go to the Raspberry icon in Raspbian. We're going to head down to Preferences, and then we want to choose Raspberry Pi Configuration. And in the tabs across the top, we're going to click on Interfaces. And the very first one is the camera, and the default is to be disabled. You want to click on the radio button to enable that camera, and then when you click on OK, it's going to prompt you to reboot so the changes take effect, and you're going to click on Yes to reboot now. Okay, now that the Pi has rebooted, we're going to test the camera by opening up the terminal. And in the terminal, we're going to go ahead and type the command raspi still. So RASPI STILL, and then -O for overwrite, and then we want to give the picture a file name. So I'm going to call this one test1.jpg for the file format. And then we're going to press enter, and you can adjust your camera, and then it's going to flash the picture. And to see where your picture ended up, since we were in the home directory, when we open up the Document Explorer and we scroll down, and then we should see the file test1.jpg, and you can double click to open that file, and there's the image taken with the Pi camera. Okay, so now we know that our Pi camera is working. We can go back to the terminal, and the default when you do this command, so we'll do test1.jpg again, and it should overwrite the same with the same file name, and the default is to snap the picture in 5 seconds. So we'll go ahead and execute that command, and the Pi camera turns on, and then in 5 seconds it snaps the picture. So now when we open up that file in the documents, and we can see that the image that we previously took was replaced with the new image. Okay, if you want to extend that time, then we can put a time delay in the command. So we'll do raspi still and then -T for the timer, and then we'll put in 15,000, and that will give us 15 full second delay before the picture snaps, and then -O to overwrite, and this one I'll call test2.jpg, and then we'll press enter, and the camera pops up. Now I have time that I can go ahead and move the camera before it snaps the image. And we gave it a 12-second delay, or 15-second delay. There we go. Now the image has been captured. And when I look at my document list, right now I have a new file, test2. That was the one that was taken with the delay. And there's our new picture. Okay, so next, sometimes the way that you need to position your camera causes the image to be rotated. So for example, if I do another raspy still -O, we'll rewrite test2. I rotated my camera module, so notice now my image is upside down. So it just took my picture upside down. If I want to or need to rotate that image before the picture is saved, I can do that using raspy still. And then we'll do -ROT for rotate. And you can rotate the image by 90, 180, or 270 degrees. Since my camera was upside down, I'm going to rotate by 180 degrees and then overwrite that to test2.jpg. And now notice that my image is right side up. Right, so even though my camera was upside down, my image was right side up when it was displayed. So now I can open that file, and then there's my image. Okay, so now let's look at how we can record video. So I'm going to go ahead and open my terminal, and to record video, instead of raspy still, we're going to use the command raspy vid, and the -T is going to tell us, or tell the computer rather, how long they should, or it should be recording that video. So let's do 10 seconds, which would be 10,000 milliseconds. Then -O to overwrite, and then we'll give the file name test video 1, and then the extension will be H264. That's going to give us a resolution of 1920 by 1080. Okay, so we'll press enter, and there's my camera, so I can wave hello. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the video automatically stops. So now in the file manager, you will go ahead and find the video file, and there it is in my home Pi directory, and we'll double click to open that, and there is my video. Okay, notice that the video had no sound, right? That's because I don't have a microphone enabled, so this is only recording the video, not the audio. Okay, we can also use the terminal commands in order to record slow motion video. So if we type raspy vid, and then we're going to set the dimensions to be the width of 640, and the height of our window will be 480, and then our frame rate, our frames per second, so -FPS, let's do 90. Then we'll record that video, so -T for 10 seconds, or 10,000 milliseconds, and then -O to overwrite, and we'll call this one test video 2.h264. Okay, and we'll press enter, and now again we'll wave hello and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there the video maxed out its 10 seconds and saved. So we'll open up the document manager, scroll down and find our video file 2, and we'll open that in the VLC player, and there we can see that it's moving in slow motion. So that would be recording a slow motion video. Okay, so sometimes you want to be able to take a picture with the key press rather than having it default to 5 seconds or setting a longer timer. And we can use that using the -K switch as opposed to the -T switch. And then it's going to let us take the picture using the enter button. To exit that procedure, we would press X followed by enter rather than just enter. Okay, so to do that in our terminal line, we're going to do raspy still and then -O to overwrite. But since we're going to take multiple pictures by pressing enter until we exit this sequence, we're going to need to tell it to do key press as the name of our file, and then we're going to put in %04 and then d.jpg, and we put that %04d to the end of the file name so that we get sequential numbers added to the file. So the first file will be key press 0000, then key press 0001, 0002, and so on until we exit by pressing the X and then an enter. Okay, and then we're going to put that -K at the end to tell it that we're going to use the keystroke method to take the pictures rather than the time delay. So we'll go ahead and press enter, and now the camera pops up. Okay, so I'm going to, let's hold up 5 fingers and press enter, then 4 fingers, press enter, then 3 fingers, enter, then 2 fingers, enter, and then 1 finger, enter. And so now I've taken those pictures, I'm ready to exit the sequence, so I press X followed by enter, and that closes the camera. So I have, when I look in my documents folder now, and narrow down here so we can see the files. Right now I have my key press 0000, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it took all and saved all 6 images. So when I look at the first file, right, there's my picture holding up 5 fingers. The second file, right, there's my image holding up 4 fingers. Then the next one, right, there's the image holding up 3 fingers, and so on. So you get the idea how the K switch works as opposed to the T switch to put on the timer. Okay, so next we're going to look at image effects that we can use to change the appearance of the pictures that we take. And we do that using the IFX switch, followed by some single word commands that we can use to for example, do a negative image to emboss or have an oil paint effect, or a blur, color swap, or color saturation. So, for example, if we do the terminal command raspy still, and then we're going to do ifx, oh whoops, forgot the dash, so dash ifx for that switch, and let's try the negative feature, and then dash O, and we'll call this one test3.jpg. And now we can see in the preview, right now it looks like a negative instead. Okay, then we could try any of these other effects. So raspy still dash ifx, and let's try the emboss, and then dash 0 test4.jpg, and now you can see that really interesting embossing effect. Okay, then let's try raspy still dash ifx. Let's do oil paint dash O test5.jpg, and now the camera looks like an oil painting. We could do raspy still dash ifx, and let's try cartoon, sounds like a fun one, dash 0 test6.jpg, and now we have a cartoon version. So some other terms you could try would be, let's see, negative, solarize, posterize, sketch, denoise, emboss, oil paint, hatch, pastel, watercolor, film, blur, saturation, color swap, washed out, color point, color balance, and cartoon. So a quick Google search on the Raspberry Pi image effects will bring up a list for you of all the different effects that you could use.